Okay. Morning, everybody. We are excited to get started here this morning. We have a very full agenda. It's our pleasure to host you all. My name is Lisa Shabak, and I'm the Executive Director of WorkNet Dupage and the Workforce Development Division of DuPage County. To start, I'm just going to run through a quick little list of housekeeping items. You can mute and unmute yourself. You could turn video on and off if you are having connectivity issues. That sometimes helps. And we will be taking Q&A in the chat box, so please feel free to ask your questions or make comments. This event is being recorded, and because we are trying to cover so much in our 1 hour, we'll ask for your understanding from both the attendees and speakers as we hold to a pretty strict timeline here this morning. So this meeting this morning is essentially about workforce development. And everyone in this meeting knows that there's a lot of different approaches to developing talent, developing workforce. What I've learned over the course of my career is the necessity of a holistic approach. No one method or tool is going to be enough to meet your needs. There are short-term tools like particular job posting services. There's mid-range tools like training grants to upskill your employees and invest in your talent. And then there are long-term solutions, and those are the hardest to design and develop. Those are things like apprenticeship models, talent pipelines, and career pathways. And those are the types of solutions that are necessary to address the longstanding challenges that we know manufacturers face, the often cited aging workforce, misperceptions of what modern manufacturing workplaces look like, the decline of shop classes, and so forth. So this model that you're going to be hearing about this morning, the education to industry pipeline, is a long-term workforce development solution that you really should consider incorporating into your toolbox as far as workforce development goes. It happens to address all those challenges I just listed. And so with that, I'm excited to introduce the DuPage Regional Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Darlene Rossetti. Darlene.
Good morning, and thank you, Lisa, and thank you to all the business leaders that are here with us this morning. I have been the DuPage County Regional Superintendent of Schools for 18 years. And during that time, I've engaged in a series of initiatives connecting our students to the world of work. It has had various names over time: career tech ed, voc ed, career ed, education to careers, and now we're work-based learning. A common thread, however, has always been a commitment by educators to prepare our students to be successful in their future. We have had over the years a number of successes for our students, and we've had successful business partnerships. We've learned a lot in this time. We've learned that parents are key in many ways. We learned that the context of time is very important. A sense of urgency or lack of really matters. The need for resources of people, time, and dollars. Sustainability, common language, and a common understanding between educators and businesses is critical. Thank you, GPS. And the power of leadership are all key factors to success. So how is what we're proposing different and more important today than ever before? And I think Lisa alluded to this a little bit as well. There is a greater sense of urgency today. There's the realization by parents that not every student has to have a 4-year degree to be successful. Businesses more than ever need that skilled and talented workforce to compete in an ever-growing world competitive market. The increasing need for innovation and creativity, an aging workforce, and more. So today, the benefits of connecting students with businesses has tremendous advantages for all students and for businesses. In the past, we sorted students. Some were college bound, some were in the trades, some maybe even in the military. But today it is different. Today, apprenticeships and credentialing afford all students with a clearer vision of where they want to go, identifying gaps in their skills, and building the necessary skills, both technical and soft, to be successful. And in addition, furthering their academic learning with a greater relevancy to the real world. For businesses, apprenticeships offer the pipeline to building a better skilled workforce. And together with education, creating a pipeline for bringing in new and diverse talent, which can increase a greater return on investment, profitability, and also affording greater retention and recruitment opportunities. I would like to share with you just real briefly what our pilot looks like that we have been working on. We started under the great leadership of Tom Wendorf, who just basically said, gave a call and said, hey, Darlene, I've got an idea. Met together with a group of our superintendents in DuPage County, asked for who might be interested in starting with us. And from that, we began a pilot that began from February through May of 21. I do want you to keep in mind this was during some of the greatest challenges with COVID that we had. We aligned, of course, to one of our great partners, College of DuPage and Project Higher Ed. We aligned to industry standards and apprenticeships with TMA. Two of our brave school districts started off with us, Lake Park High School District 108, who you'll be hearing from, and DuPage High School District 88. Our goal was to have 5 to 10 students. And I think we ended up with 11, so that was pretty cool. We succeeded our goal there. And our goal was to have 3 to 5 manufacturing business partnerships. And as you can see, we certainly met our goal as well. So we're very appreciative. So I just want to, because you're going to hear from a lot of great folks and in regards to what's been going, what we've been doing. And I do think that in this regard, leadership certainly has been very important. Our partnerships with COD, with GPS, with our high schools, with, obviously with Lisa and her entire team, WorkNet. We really feel we're in the right time at the right place to really move this forward. And I know that the majority of you here are in manufacturing, but we're really looking to expand beyond manufacturing as well. We're looking at cybersecurity. You all know the importance of that. We're looking at nursing. We're looking at logistics. So there's other things. So we've got a big vision. We feel we have a strong pilot that has been successful. Our ultimate goal is to look to move forward and to scale this up across the state. So thank you, and thank you again for all being here this morning. And I would like next to introduce Danielle Kublin-Segal. She's the Manager Project for Higher Ed at the College of DuPage. Danielle.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rossetti. College of DuPage is involved with the Youth Apprenticeship Program as it clearly connects with our mission and vision as your regional community college. The college has been intentional in focusing on workforce development and has recently established Project Higher Ed to focus on building bridges between employers and education. We see great value in the program as it strengthens alignment between high school and college through opportunities such as dual credit courses. Another advantage to this program is the ability to better integrate career pathways at the high school level. This helps those interested in a specific job or industry to explore related courses, certificates, degrees, organizations, apprenticeships, industry credentials, and more. This program can also bridge youth apprenticeships to Project Higher Ed apprenticeships. Project Higher Ed offers opportunities to employers in 8 different manufacturing tracks or jobs with customizable programs for employer needs. Additionally, students are supported on their journey with smooth transitions and wraparound support. High school students receive excellent support and guidance from GPS, ED, and the staff of the high school as they progress through their youth apprenticeship experience. For those participating in the College of DuPage Project Higher Ed apprenticeship program, the students have a smooth transition from the youth apprenticeship program to COD with a case manager who serves as a conduit between employer, student, and the college to provide the wraparound services needed for success. And as your regional community college, we want to see you and your business thrive and succeed. The college is invested in being a catalyst for economic impact for DuPage County, and the youth apprenticeship program is a win for everyone, especially our regional employers. We are grateful for the opportunity to be involved with this program and look forward to supporting all the ways it will grow and succeed in the future. I'd like to now introduce the Manager of Training and Education at the Technology and Manufacturing Association, Lee Coglanese.
Thank you, Daniela. I'm really going to echo a lot of what Daniela said, but more on the industry side. So for those of you who don't know TMA, we are the Technology and Manufacturing Association. Really quick, we've been around since 1925, and we really focus on assisting small to mid-sized manufacturers achieve success in all aspects of their business. including their need for skilled workers. So our workforce initiatives really revolve around helping our companies better recruit, train, and retain their employees. So a big reason why we wanted to get involved in this program is to help companies connect companies to this program to provide employment opportunities for the students, but also to provide direct opportunities for hire for our members. TMA has roughly 700 companies that are manufacturers in the Chicagoland area that we are looking to bring to the table, especially as this program grows. The skills gap is a huge concern for the industry. Our members have shared that this is a major pain point of theirs, is the lack of skilled workers. This program helps to create more awareness to careers in manufacturing, as our youth cannot be what they cannot see. It helps to shed light and pave clearer roads to the students and parents to see where these career pathways could lead, all while providing high school students in the program with training on technical skills and also soft skills, whether it's in a classroom setting or on the job training at a company. Like COD, TMA also wanted to provide valuable post-secondary opportunities through our apprentice program, which is 3 years long, and it is registered with the Department of Labor. Many of our company owners today, they've all graduated from TMA, so we have tracks in tool and die, mold making, and CNC programming. This apprentice program really does give students the opportunity to earn while they learn. And a majority of the time, they're paying little to no cost for their schooling. TMA is a very big believer in this program because it provides a good working solution for high schools, for students, and for companies because of the huge support and structure of the program that it provides. It also closely tracks success stories, which I believe is truly important for our growth. It leads students into a career in manufacturing, not only with a better education or a better educated decision on their future, but also with the skills they need to get started. I mean, how many of us would have loved the opportunity to test out a career prior to investing in further education after high school, and really, make sure this is what we want to do for the rest of our lives. So we truly, this program truly provides a joint effort, which I believe is key. It has all the right players at the table working together. And you can easily see that from this presentation today and everybody that's involved. So without further ado, I'm going to pass this over to Jim Roberts, who is the Assistant Superintendent at Lake Park High School.
Thank you, Lee, and good morning to everyone. Our students had a fantastic learning experience this year, thanks to all the participating partners on this morning's meeting. The pool of students were juniors and seniors drawn from a variety of career and technical education courses. At Lake Park, we have Machining 1 and 2, a lot of pre-engineering courses from Project Lead the Way, but our students also came from courses like autos, woods, and metals. Now, there are a number of reasons why Lake Park and Addison District 88 were eager to participate in this pilot initiative. First, we know that the Illinois State Board of Education is committed to granting college and career pathway endorsements. Students will be able to earn these endorsements, which would appear on their transcripts. On the college side, we see that the state supports advanced placement courses and dual credit courses, which are opportunities for students to earn college credit while in high school. On the career side, the state supports a variety of work-based learning experiences, which would include everything from facility tours, job shadowing, internships, and pre-apprenticeship experiences. The main takeaway is that the state's leading educational agency endorses work-based learning. At Lake Park and Addison Trail and schools throughout the county, our kids were also ready for work-based learning, especially pre-apprenticeships. We offer a wide range of pre-engineering, machining, and manufacturing courses, including a dual credit machining course with the College of DuPage. Other districts around the county offer parallel programming. And where there are gaps in these types of courses, GPS Education Partners has supplemental curriculum and certifications that can be pushed out to our students and school districts. The main important point is that we want to be sure that there's a good match of student readiness with our business partners. Work-based learning is the most authentic type of learning. It answers that age-old question many of us asked when we were in school. When will I ever use this in real life? And schools are committed to meeting the college and career goals of all of our students. And we owe it to them to provide educational experiences that are aligned to their career aspirations. I believe that in years to come, it will be common practice for students throughout the state to have a variety of career exploration experiences that will include internships and pre-apprenticeship experiences. But now let's hear from one of our students, Juan Hernandez. He'll be graduating from Lake Park tonight, and he is one of our pre-apprenticeship students, and he is also signed on with the College of Dupage and their Project Higher Ed program. He'll tell us why he decided to participate in the program and what he learned from it. Juan?
So the reason I decided to participate in the program was because when I got a taste of manufacturing in my junior year of high school, I just wanted to learn more about it, you know. And this program allowed me to actually get insider experience inside of a manufacturing company and see what it's really like to be as an employee working on, you know, CNC machines, lasers, welding, all these kinds of different things that I got to be able to use while being at my company. And it's been great because it allowed me to kind of solidify what I chose to do, which was CNC manufacturing and programming and machining. And it kind of let me work with those who had honed their craft for many years and really learn from them and talk to them about their experiences, and just overall allowed me to feel like I was like full-time employee in a sense, because even though I just am a student, but everyone, you know, all these people treated you like you were an employee and really helped you learn and really put you to work. And it's been really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Say, Juan, can you tell us about your future career aspirations? Where would you like to go now that you're heading off to Project Higher Ed and working in the industry? What are your longer goals?
So my longer term goals as of now are being able to get an associate's degree and get all my certifications to become an operator and programmer, and you know, just kind of see how far that it will take me, and trying to, you know, be the best I can possibly be, and, you know, be on the top, I should say, you know.
Well, thank you, Juan. Just want to brag about Juan a little bit in terms of his really strong CNC and manufacturing skills entering the program. He also demonstrated all of those pre-professional skills and competencies that we expect out of our employees. He came to work early, he stayed late, he was well prepared, asked questions, followed through on his assignments, practiced his safety protocols, and did all those things that we really want out of our employees. Now I'd like to introduce Erin Strickland, who is the Director of Human Resources at SWD, and she was one of our participating business partners.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me. So I'm going to speak a little bit to our industry as well as SWD's experience with these programs. As many of you know, the manufacturing industry is facing a skills gap. We also have a problem with our talent pipeline. Who are we going to find to work in our positions over the next 10 years? This is not just an issue from 2021 and 2020, but this has been going on for years. And it creates a huge challenge. The new employees coming in don't have the hard skills, as well as missing the soft skills that we need: how to communicate, how to ask questions, how to take feedback. For SWD, our strategy to solve this problem is to create education and industry partnerships. So this is working with Project Higher Ed, working with the high schools. I go in once a year to talk with the local community high school guidance counselors about what we're looking for in the future for our employees. It's really important that the community works as a whole together, and that's everyone in the manufacturing industry or other industries that would be open to this type of training program. If the schools and the educators don't know what we're looking for, they're not able to provide us with the students and the young adults that we need in our workforce. It's very important that we have these education and trainings. It starts with awareness in manufacturing careers at the high school, maybe even junior high level, to be aware that these careers exist and these options exist. And one of our big goals is to build a sustainable labor pool into the future. Okay, so it's not just the students or our employees that participate in this program, but their families and the other community members that they know actually become aware of these programs, as well as just the career opportunities we hold. One of our pre-apprentice students actually referred a friend, and so now they're working as a machine operator. So it's expanding not just within this small community working with these programs, but also to all of the community as a whole. For us, we do have a couple success stories I highlight down here at the bottom. We have Clayton, who's a member of Project Higher Ed, Renato, who was a current employee who we placed into the maintenance apprenticeship program at Project Higher Ed. And this year we took on 2 high school apprentices. Ivan will actually be moving into the Project Higher Ed program as he graduates this week, so we're super excited for him. And then Parker, who was a junior this year, is moving into his senior year as part of the program as well. Something I do want to add is Project Higher Ed added a lot of support for us, as well as the high schools, in finding those participants for us. So instead of me just having to reach out, they were able to bring them in as well. So I did see a quick thing on electronics manufacturing. We actually go through the electronic tech program at Project Higher Ed as well. So just so that you're aware of that, they have that program. But that's enough from my end. I want you to hear from another employer as well. Greg Carrico, from the Director of Human Resources from Campcraft, will be able to speak about their experience as well.
Hey, thank you. Very well said, Erin. Yeah, I think the reason that we got involved in this youth apprenticeship program is exactly for the same reasons that Erin mentioned there. We've faced this shortage of employees in the manufacturing industry for a while now. So I'd have to say, just going back to how I got interested in all of this is we've partnered with TMA for years, and I was invited to sponsor their precision machining competition that they do every year. We attended the award ceremony there and got a chance to meet students like Juan and just heard the excitement in their voices as they talked about careers in manufacturing. Also spoke to parents as well that were excited about what their kids were, felt would be a career that they'd find success in. So based on that, we just asked, how can we get involved? We actually talked to people at Lake Park High School and joined their Precision Machining Technology Advisory Council. So as a local manufacturer employer, just leaned into them and told them what we saw the needs were for students in high school. So through that relationship, we learned of the youth apprenticeship program and this pilot that we're talking about, and thought, boy, this is just perfect timing. I love it. I don't have the bandwidth myself to formulate a program like this. So I talked to Jeff and Tricia, who you'll hear from later, just about how they've structured this program, how successful it's been in other areas, and it just made sense to us. So it sounded like a solid program. We learned some of the tools. We started off with this exposure map so that we could kind of identify which areas of our company that we could have students come and learn from the experts in these different areas, how to run machines, how programming CNC machines work, the tooling involved, things like that. So we brought in 2 students that were identified from Lake Park High School, put them through a rotation for 8 weeks. After that time, they identified the area of the business that they really liked, something that really resonated with them. So the following 8 weeks, we got them involved with a mentor in those areas and finding a lot of success in that right now. And actually they're moving on. One student's graduating and moving into the Project Higher Ed. So we're very proud of him. The other's going to be working with us this summer. So yeah, just to explain some of the tools involved here, I'll pass this off to Tricia Munoz, WBL Engagement Manager at GPS Education Partners.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Greg. I'm Tricia Munoz. I'm with GPS Education Partners, and we are a work-based learning intermediary that really helps support the development, implementation, and execution of the work-based learning programs. So when we talk about the pilot coming into Dupage, we were really fortunate to come into a community with so many organizations and individuals ready and willing to support the development of the next generation of talent. Schools, students, and businesses were really engaged through this pilot program, and the program is really developed around that thought process of apprenticeship being a structured training program. So we take that concept and we apply it back into the high school to create the youth apprenticeship program. There's a couple components to that when you think of what goes into the apprenticeship program. So starting on the left-hand side, we work within the communities to identify those businesses, and we're hoping some of you are in this virtual room this afternoon or this morning, and we work with each of the businesses to onboard you through what it is to work with a student learner in a youth apprenticeship program. We go into and work with you to map out your facility and identify the pathways and opportunities that you have to train the next generation on. We also conduct an in-depth skills coach training for all those individuals that will work directly with students and what it is students are able to do and how to work with a 16 to 18-year-old. And then ultimately, we help onboard the students, recruit them, identify them, get them ready for this experience. And then we assist through that tracking and monitoring of the student through the entire program. Once the students enter into your facility as a legit youth apprentice, the first phase of the program that Greg really talked to is that exploration phase. During the pilot, we modified it down into 8 weeks. But as we continue with the program, we want that first phase to double in size. So it would be about 16 weeks for that exploration. And during that time, a student's going to rotate to a variety of areas that we've mapped during that initial walkthrough. We allow the student to do this because it gets them exposed to product in to product out and the variety of what the industry has to offer them. We're also tracking their skills on both the soft skills and the technical skills side during this time. And in order for this to be a youth apprenticeship program, we align that back to some of the courses and curriculum that they're receiving at their home high school or in post-secondary opportunities as well. As Greg mentioned, as they approach the end of that, our goal is that they're able to identify a specific pathway. You heard from Juan earlier, he really navigated towards that machining pathway. So that entire second phase of the program, he was focused on the training aligning to machining. And right away, once students identify that pathway, we work to start aligning it to what their post-secondary plans would look like. For Juan, it was going to Project Higher Ed at the COD and becoming a registered apprenticeship and a direct hire. So he really met the trifecta. And our goal is with students, whether they click one of those buckets on the far right, all of them, or something different, we're able to transition them after high school with valuable skills that are transferable to any career path they choose to take. So as we look at this and we think back onto the pilot, we really learned that the companies were very happy with the aptitude and ability that students brought to their facilities. So the outcomes that we have from this pilot really speak to themselves. We had 9 total students participate in the program, 7 seniors, 2 juniors, and of those 9, 8 are choosing to remain in the industry. Of the seniors that are graduating, 4 of them are being hired by their company that they received training in, continuing with technical college within a registered apprenticeship program. We have a student that will also be hired and going on to a technical college program to pursue their core academics. Another student going on to a four-year college within engineering, and another student that's choosing to go to technical college in a different pathway. Of our two juniors, like Greg mentioned before from Camcraft, one of them is going to stay on for the summer, and we have another junior that is at SWD that will be returning to continue in the program for next year with the goal of continuing into a registered apprenticeship. So we are very pleased with how this program supported students in the variety of pathways they chose to take. And it really shows that it's able to flex to what the companies and students are looking for, and we're able to support them in that pathway. So now I want to transition to Jeff Ziegler, our Partner Service Manager here at GPS.
Good morning, everyone. We're certainly proud of the efforts and the partnerships that we were able to bring, and certainly the student outcomes, and its reason for celebration. But I can assure you, we are just getting started, and we're excited to share what's next. We are focused on adding mass and momentum to this important movement, but we're also equally as committed to making sure that it's lasting and enduring. Next year, the program, we are proud to announce that it will span the full academic year and will support students over 2 consecutive semesters, allowing students an even more immersive industry experience. As Trish mentioned, we are working with both juniors and seniors, and they may continue through a senior experience. Juniors could certainly continue over the course of summer. So we're excited to bring that to bear. We are also adding more districts and more schools across DuPage. We're adding Fenton, York, West Chicago, and Wheaton, bringing our school districts to 6 and adding new schools. More will continue to follow, as Dr. Rossetti had mentioned, making these opportunities available for all schools and all students across the county. We are adding, with more schools, we're adding more opportunities to engage and attract students to the industry and these pathways and work-based learning experiences. We're actively recruiting students and zooming into classrooms, hosting student parent information sessions, and we're targeting next year supporting 30 to 40 students, again, juniors and seniors. We'll continue to focus our support and transitioning students to continuing education, industry training, and apprenticeship opportunities with our partners at TMA, College of DuPage, Project Higher Ed, and other programs in the community that provide opportunities for students to pursue their areas of interest. Last and most importantly, we're focused on increasing student opportunities to work and train within the manufacturing businesses, where they have the opportunity to demonstrate their employability skills, develop technical skills, and validate their chosen career path. We're focused on opening more doors to this next generation, and we're focused on increasing capacity beyond our student targets and making sure that there is opportunity, access opportunity, to ensure that all students have access to a work-based learning experience before they leave high school in the area of interest, in their neighborhoods, and across DuPage County. So we're inviting our manufacturing business community to get involved. And next we'll tell you how we can do that. The first place that we can invite you to is join in, share your interest, and follow this movement. We will provide a link within the chat where you can complete a business interest questionnaire, follow our work, and get involved. There's a place at the table for everyone. Business partners across the community, whether you're interested in making a difference, if you see the need for systemic change, a reason to do more, and be an advocate for change, there's a place at the table for you. If you want to be part of a coalition, an employer partnership, and share this work that we're doing collectively, there's a place at the table for you. And if you're looking for a turnkey talent solution that works, there's a place for you at the table as well. So businesses, small, mid-sized organizations, and large, we invite you to participate and join in our work. What we're asking for, what the commitment looks like, is making sure that you have organizational support across your organization. It takes a team, not just beyond HR, but operations, leadership, and production to support students and student learners in these environments. We do need training and work opportunities. That's a vital piece of a work-based learning experience. So opening your doors to these students is vital. Supporting students, we're averaging 15 to 20 hours a week for students, and an hourly wage where students have an authentic, meaningful experience and become part of the team, your culture, and your environment. And we need skills coaches and mentors to help support students through their training, employability skills, soft skill development, and then certainly the technical skill side of things. And yes, we need opportunities that lead to hiring, much like in Juan's case, where he can continue to work, grow, and learn, and develop. Where are we working? We're working across DuPage County and neighboring communities where students can have access to these opportunities. And when we would like you to start today, getting ready for the 2021 academic year. Students will begin at school in August, and we could have students on the floor working with our business partners beginning in September, and then working through those 2 consecutive semesters. And I think we talked about this early on. The question is why? It's important work, and the time is now, and we're here to support you. So again, we invite your participation. We'll include the opportunity to complete the business interest survey. Raise your hand, and we'll be happy to answer any questions and provide support to you. So before I turn it back over to Lisa Shavak, I want to share our thanks to WorkNet Dupage, all that they've done to develop these important programs and support the work that we do. So, Lisa.
Thank you, Jeff, and all of our presenters. Just so much good information there. We're going to take some time now to do Q&A. And we did get some questions already in the chat, so I'm going to run through those now for our panelists. First, I just want to draw everyone's attention to, in the chat, you can see that business interest questionnaire that Jeff referenced. It's hyperlinked there, so if you'd like to get started right away, I encourage you to click on that and have that ready. I am going to begin with a question, and some of these questions appear to have been addressed throughout the presentation, but as we do have time here, we're going to kind of circle back on some of these topics. So we did get a question. Can you share how the high school students are recruited for the apprenticeships?
Yes, most definitely. So Jim, did you want to kind of lead on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So we begin with our pool of students who take career and technical education courses. We focus on students who are juniors and seniors. And at Lake Park, because we have a robust pre-engineering and manufacturing program, we go to Machining 1 and Machining 2 courses and the prerequisite courses that lead up to those classes. So it would be a project Lead the Way. We have 3 or 4 different courses there. And as I mentioned earlier, kids who are interested in working with their hands. So a lot of our kids coming out of woods and metals and electronics are viable candidates. Again, the kids will have all a full range of readiness when they express interest in the student apprenticeship program. So we're really aware of making sure that the business partner interests and what they're ready to take on aligns to what the student experience has. As Jeff mentioned earlier, we literally did Zoom meetings into student classes. Tricia did a great job of providing an overview of the benefits of work-based learning and a paid apprenticeship program. So that's how we provided initial outreach to students. And then the participating school districts have also been using evening meetings with students and parents, and a member of the school district and GPS participates on that call. And a brief presentation is made to parents about how the program works and the safety precautions that are provided. And then after that meeting, students fill out an interest inventory that they use to let the schools know that they want to commit to the program. And that's where we then begin working on the actual student schedules. In many cases, if not all, the student will be released at the end of the day, at least a period or two, so they can get to their place of employment, which is very close to the school district whenever possible. We want to get the students there as soon as possible so they have that early release. And then Tricia will then begin pairing the student interests with employer interests. And the students will then engage in that pre-employment interview and screening process, just like they would with all of new employees to a company. So there are a lot of layers to the process, but we would go to the natural course selections where kids are working with their hands and have expressed an interest in this type of industry.
Great. Thanks, Jim. We got another question in here just now that we'll send out to the panelists. In situations where students flourished, can you share an example of the training or mentoring that was provided? Were they paired with a lead operator or a supervisor that they shadowed? How long did it typically take the student to feel comfortable? And we have Juan still on here, so maybe he can speak to that. Basically, are there best practices that the employers or Juan could share for the group here?
One second. So from like an employee perspective as like a student, when I started learning, it took me maybe 2 weeks when I first started to get more comfortable. But that's me personally. You know, I can't speak for the others, but it starts to get comfortable quickly when you have people that really know their stuff, and you know they are willing to share as much information possible, and they are willing to go to the ends of the earth to show you what they know and trying to make you the best possible machinist. So maybe once they retire, you could be in a position where you can take over from them, you know. And it's been great because they put you to work, you know. You're not there just to like sit around and just stare. No, you are there to work and be an actual employee, and it allows you to almost in a sense get up to industrial standards to where you start off here, you can be almost, you know, in a sense, almost a full actual employee that has gotten that training. I hope that helps.
I can chime in there just from an employer standpoint. You know, we had one of our students working in our tool room and learning directly from a tool room machinist that had gone through a TMA apprenticeship. So he understood what it was like working, you know, with a young person, putting them through just the basics of machining, just to get a good understanding, a good solid foundation working in a tool room. But in each area that the students went to, we paired them up with a mentor in each department, which was, you know, someone that was an expert on those machines and could just really pour a lot of information into them, always with the goal of trying to get, like Juan said, get some hands-on experience there too. But in this last part where the students are focused in the last 8 weeks, specifically in one area, I just see them thrive on just gobbling up that information and learning from their mentors. So it's been a great experience.
And I'd like to add from the employer side as well, with that, to explain that mentorship. So we did an 8-week exposure program for our students, which meant I had the student work with over 15 different employees that were their mentors during that time. And what really made it successful was Tricia hosted a mentor training for those employees. They were super nervous about working with a high school student, but Tricia was able to give them some skills, some tools. It was really helpful. You know, you also mentioned, hey, what happens when it goes bad? And, you know, these are students, they're still learning how to work in the workplace. And what I can add is GPS and the school districts actually worked with us on that. So I got some feedback about the student that I said, okay, that's more just a professionalism issue. So I was able to share that with GPS and the schools, and they were able to address that with me. So it wasn't just left, I wasn't left on my own to manage that HR issue. And I really appreciate it. And that student's doing wonderful now. So it was just, he needed to be informed on what was appropriate and what wasn't. And I really appreciate the partnership. I think that's what really helped quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that that's a key point of the role that GPS plays in this. Just from my experience in my career doing work-based learning placements and things, developing those, the role that GPS plays in working with the employers and the employees, because not everybody has, not everyone has always trained somebody. Not everyone's an internal trainer. That is a critical piece to success of this initiative. That, from my standpoint as a workforce development professional, is critical. With this model. I'm going to kind of group a few questions together here so that some of our panelists can speak to the kind of customization of this program. We've gotten questions around, would this work for plastics manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, the print industry? Does anybody want to speak to either the employers or GPS to kind of how that customization plays out?
Yes. So with the pathways and the alignment, when we work with a company, we identify the pathways that you offer, and we have a very long list of already created generic training plans. And so far, every single one of the pathways individuals have listed in the chat box, we have established generic training plans that can be customized to your organization. Because we have these training plans, it allows us to also work with the high schools. We do a similar onboarding with the high school districts as well when they come on to identify the courses and the curriculum and the competencies that they offer to their students. And then we cross-map that to see where they align with the training students are receiving on the job and where there may be gaps. And then we're able to support those gaps either through the relationship with the technical college and the Project Higher Ed program, or TMA, or through online curriculum and credentials that we have that we can support students with. So a variety of pathways. If you're interested or you're not sure of how that would work, please complete that interest survey for the companies, and we can really give you some more specifics on how that aligns.
Just to add to that, Trish, and to echo some of the sentiment of the specific industries with the manufacturing, there's a wide variety. We've done everything from corrugated to print to plastics to metal to electronics assembly. So we do cover the gamut. And as we look at students coming out of high school, basic manufacturing, general manufacturing is certainly the foundational elements that go along with the employability skills. And from there, we can certainly specify customized training for those partners as they identify in a particular lane or a specific industry.
From the employer side, SWD was very nervous about how is this going to work within our organization. We're driving forklifts. You must be 18 to drive a forklift. We said, this can't work. But GPS was able to work with us and actually look at each individual department and how we could accommodate for a student learner. Ironically, one of our student learners, we thought there's no way we have work for them to do on our dock area, right? Because that's highly forklift. He actually did his, not the exposure, his work assignment on the dock. He's amazing at UPS as shipping and does better than some of our current employees. So it was ironic to find that maybe we had more available. And I appreciate Tricia and Jeff really helped us find how we could make it work. And I think that's important. You're not left on your own to figure it out.
Great points. And we have some additional questions that I'd like to get to here. And I think this one, maybe Danielle, if you want to start off, I know you answered in the chat, but if you just want to review, there was a question about the connection from the high schools to the college and that pipeline and how these pieces fit together. So the question was, the students do the working apprenticeship in the high school and then can join Project Higher Ed because the high school component aligns with the college program. Is that a correct kind of summary?
Yeah, absolutely. And, for our students who are going from high school to their post-secondary experience, we're in contact with Tricia and the GPS team to identify where those students' interests aligning, and then where we come in, whether it's us or TMA or another opportunity, we really connect with those students while they're still finishing up their youth apprenticeship experience to make sure they really have that seamless process from that youth to directly to whether it's working or working as an apprentice as their next step. And so we make sure that those processes are all aligned. The other piece that we're doing is to help make sure that students in those high school years are getting exposure to opportunities that help support what they're doing when they go to COD or get to College of DuPage. So, if a student has the opportunity to take a dual credit course, we're encouraging that because they've already got one step closer to completing a certificate, an applied technology certificate, when they get to College of DuPage. Also, if they take the youth apprenticeship experience, they are not obligated to complete kind of our first introductory course into the apprenticeship program because they've really had that pre-apprenticeship experience already. So they're already further along in their journey, and it allows those students to be that much closer to kind of getting into those career pathways that they want.
That's great. Thanks, Danielle, for revisiting that. And I know a lot of the businesses that are on this call are familiar with WorkNet Dupage, or you might have heard about this event from WorkNet Dupage, but I would be remiss if I did not mention that there are federal dollars that we at WorkNet Dupage are responsible for administering that can offset costs. So apprenticeships are earn and learn models, typically where the cost of the education for the student is offset in some fashion, and that's the great benefit to it. They're earning wages while having education paid for simultaneously. And WorkNet Dupage has dollars to help both the students that are involved to cover costs potentially of a project higher ed or similar type program, as long as they're eligible for the funding source, but also for the businesses. And again, I know many companies that are on this meeting have used things like incumbent worker training grants, to offset costs. So if you have an apprentice come in and you are going to be covering the cost of that individual's education, that is something that we have training grants available for. We also have on-the-job training wage reimbursements. So if the individual is eligible, we could be reimbursing the company 50 to 75% of the wages for the first 6 months of employment. So another reason, to fill out that business questionnaire and or, connect with WorkNet Dupage on some of those services that are available too. Sorry, Jeff, I had to plug my programs there. I mean, it just fits so perfectly. Okay, I'd like to get to a couple more. It looks like we have time still. We had a question, and maybe Dr. Rossetti, this might be something for you to chime in on. A question from a company who's located in Naperville. Do we have any high schools in that area in Naperville that are participating or who plan to participate?
We have, and I will say one of our roles at the Regional Office of Education is I have a designated person that is working with all of the high schools in DuPage County. Has great trust and relationships with all of our high school superintendents and others. So she knows, it's like superintendent, she's a retired superintendent talking to other superintendents. So we're working, we just started again. A lot has happened in this short period of time. And as you saw, we have Wheat and some of the others. So we keep moving this forward. So it is quite plausible that Naperville will be on board. I don't know right now for sure, but we keep meeting. It's Dr. Karen Sullivan is who's doing this work. So we keep meeting with our high schools, keep getting them more and more involved. So it's very possible, and we can keep you in the loop on that as well.
Yeah, and I would encourage to echo that. I would encourage you, the folks that are interested, tracking the progress of this program and have interest. We'd love to be able to communicate, what's happening, what's coming next, and keeping you in the loop on how to get engaged and where the opportunities lie, which schools are participating as we move forward.
Great. We have a couple questions here geared towards employers. We still have some time here. Do the employers take advantage of the apprenticeship tax credit? That would be for, I'm assuming you might not quite be at that stage yet, and if you're not aware, that is something that we will help you take advantage of for registered apprenticeships. So those individuals that you're hiring on now as registered apprenticeships through Project Higher Ed would qualify for that. So if anybody is already aware of that or taking advantage of it. And then the second question would be the average hourly rate that the students are being paid.
I'll chime in on that one. You know, I haven't explored the tax credit yet, but it's something that I'm sure I'll be getting more information about. As far as hourly wage, you know, I worked with GPS just to kind of set some guidelines there. You know, somewhere in the $14, $15 hour range, I think would be good. Tricia, you could maybe add to that, but that's kind of where we were at. And then as students progress, you know, add a little bit to that as they hit milestones.
And for us at SWD, we're working on the tax credit. So we haven't quite gotten there. It's been in the process. We've been focused on our programming, but intend to move forward with the tax credit. For pay for our high school apprenticeship programs, we actually start at $11 an hour. And then as they gain skills, they'll be able to see increases. For the Project Higher Ed, we're starting at 15, but they're closer to 20. It depends on what your positions are, right? By the time that they are finishing the program. So it's all going to depend on how the student progresses.
Great. And for the businesses that are on the meeting here this morning, that are in the meeting, the link to the Illinois tax credit page that's through the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. That's now in the chat if that's something that you want to check out. It's another incentive and another benefit to investing and participating in this long-term workforce development model and solution. I think there was one more question here. What can we make, well, this is being recorded, so I will say that, but I think that there was an inquiry about an electronic copy of the presentation being made available. I think we're going with the recording. I don't, if individuals would like the slides, I don't know, Jeff, what do we?
We can make things certainly available. If there are specific questions, we can do that, but yeah, we can make it available.
Yeah, and I would again encourage you to, the best way is probably to just fill out that business interest questionnaire, and then all of this, can be revisited in a one-on-one format. A question, another yes to the slides, please. So we do have interest in the presentation. Are there any programs going on over the summer?
So for the students, like you saw, the majority of the students were seniors. So we closed them out and then transition them to their post-program opportunities. We do have a junior continue with CAMCraft for the summer. So we'll support them as a student learner throughout the summer. But the summer activity stream right now is primarily going to be focused on onboarding the new business partners to support students for the full year program next year. So that's where our focus will be for the summertime, and this is a great time to really be involved.
Excellent. Juan, I wanted to mention that you got some congratulations and some kudos in the comments that have come in also, and I certainly second that, and I'm so happy that you were able to join us this morning, and congratulations on what I'm sure is going to be a bright future for you and the lucky employer who's going to have you joining them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Juan. We really do appreciate it. So we're getting ready to wrap up here. As we're approaching 9:30. I would love to thank all of the panelists, not just Juan, but everybody for taking time out to really share a very complete picture of what, as a career-long workforce development professional, I'm confident is an extremely innovative and soon to be even more widespread and successful model. We thank all of our attendees for joining us. This will be recorded, and I would like to remind everyone on the call that you will be receiving follow-up communication via email. That communication will include the business questionnaire. If you have not had a chance to click that link yet or check that out, you will have that there. I imagine we can also include the slides in that, a link to the slides or a copy of the presentation potentially in that communication. Again, I'd like to reiterate just to reach out to us with questions. There's a question here about contact information for the panelists. That's another way to kind of just tap into any of the follow-up information or questions that you have, fill out that questionnaire and we'll be in touch with you in a very speedy fashion. We're excited to continue expanding this all over DuPage County. And that will do it for this morning. Again, thank you all for joining us.